Hi, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Litter Media Live on both Facebook Live and also on Litter Media Radio. I'm your host, Mike Smith, along with co-host Aaron Glandon. Dan Ramey is on assignment today.
Yes, he is. One of you has been on assignment for weeks now. You and Dan have been on the Daily Show once in the month of February.
Yeah.
And it was February 1st.
Well, but we saw each other at the ball game last night.
Right.
Yeah. So it's kind of like we're talking. We're just not seeing each other. And on radio, you don't see each other.
Right.
So that all works out. Well, good to have all of you folks joining us today. And, hey, I got a nice thank you card the other day from a devoted listener, watcher of the show on Facebook, Lois Coons, Frankfurt. And she said, I love what you guys do every day. She even mentioned Aaron Glandon.
No way.
It's in the letter. I was going to bring it, and I misplaced it.
You got to let me read that.
Yeah. I think I sent pretty much everything that Lois. So, Lois, I know I saw you on the street the other day, and we were talking, and I forgot to say thanks, but thank you, Lois, if you're watching, for that nice card. We certainly appreciate knowing that people are out there watching. Weather forecast, nice one today, a little chillier than maybe earlier in the week. Sunshine, but a high of 46. Start out cool. It's going to get up to about 46 by about 4 o'clock this afternoon. I think it says 44 on our weather widget there, but 46 elsewhere. Windy, but warmer tomorrow with, what's that say tomorrow for a high?
52 looks like.
Looks like I'm blocked out, yeah. So I'm a couple of degrees off. My phone weather widget says 54, but ours on our website says 52.
Is your phone set to Frankfurt? Because this is set to Chillicothe.
Ah, well, that's probably the reason. It's hard to believe that there'd be 2 degrees difference.
Hey, you never know. Yeah. The wind blows different up there.
When I'm in Florida in early December, I keep checking every day, and I keep announcing to my wife, honey, back home it's such and such.
Yeah.
So, like we're in the right place.
I did that when I was in L.A.
Yeah. Only with yours. Well, the smog index today is smog still a problem?
I don't think it is that much anymore.
Okay.
It was real nice.
I can remember, going off the map here, the Beverly Hillbillies.
Yeah.
The smog was very bad in the early 70s in L.A., and I remember one of the shows, a con artist was trying to get Jed and Granny to give them millions to drill a hole in the mountains, and they were going to build a big fan and suck the smog out of LA.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So, yeah, I'm so glad to know that now it's just, I guess there's a lot of people living on the streets.
Yeah.
In some of the prominent LA places now.
Yeah. Big drug problem.
As well as San Francisco, too. So, but unfortunately, that's happening everywhere. So that's your weather. We've got a lot of topics, a ton of sports to talk about from last night, including a number of conference championships that were decided. All that coming ahead on this is Wednesday?
It is Wednesday.
And it's Valentine's Day. Hello to all you lovely people out there. Happy Valentine's Day. All that's coming up next on Litter Media Live. Accurate Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, your trusted comfort advisor. Just got in the mail the other day a reminder card about, hey, you need to renew your maintenance contract. Strongly recommend that. That has probably saved us more money than we even know by getting in there and making sure that the furnace, the air conditioning unit, all that stuff is taken care of. Consider that as well when you're talking to Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. News coming up.
If you can't give true love to me, I'll understand. Just
it's only worth it if you enjoy it. Michelob Ultra.
Each week, Litter Media presents the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Player of the Week. If you have an athlete to nominate, any amateur athlete is eligible. Simply visit littermedia.com and click on Player of the Week. At the end of the year, we'll announce the Player of the Year. Make your nominations now at littermedia.com. Click on Player of the Week.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When ensuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
Mike and Aaron back with you here on Litter Media Live, as well as Litter Media Radio. Something new that we're doing with actual live daily programming.
You froze for a second.
Well, I was thinking, of course, the radio. I couldn't say it's the first time we've ever done anything live, because that's not true, because we do our ball games live.
Right.
But the Daily Show is new.
And we're still working out some of the kinks. We don't know how to get the ads on there, but we'll figure it out eventually.
All right. Let's get into the topics. This news came out. If you are a procrastinator, this might have been really good news for you. I don't know. Ross County Treasurer David Jeffers has declared a 1-week extension for the real estate property tax due date, shifting the deadline in Ross County from February 16th to February the 23rd. Now, the reason for the extension is a result of recent technical difficulties experienced by the Treasurer's office, which have temporarily impacted their computer system. So Treasurer Jeffers felt like, hey, we need to move this back, try to help people that were trying to get through electronically, couldn't do it. So hopefully that week extension will help out.
The final day to order trees from the Pickaway SWCD tree sale is Thursday, so that's tomorrow. Details and order forms can be found online or by visiting their office. If you want to do it online, the link is pickawayswcd.org/tree-sale.
You like to plant trees?
I don't know if I've ever planted a tree. I'm sure I did when I was in like elementary school as a
everybody
project.
was planting trees, for different things. Of course, Ross County Soil Water Conservation, they do that annually as well. Adina Mansion and Gardens and Creative Chaos, I like the name of that group. They're partnering once again to host a craft and crop. Got to make sure you say that right. Craft and crop program. This event will be held on Saturday, March the 9th from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. at Adina Mansion and Gardens Visitor Center. Have you been up to Adina anytime recently?
Not recently, no.
Dan and I went up there the day that he took these drone shots, and as you can tell, it was a beautiful sunny day. Mm-hmm. We'd gone into the visitor center first, and then we went out and took pictures of the grounds. And if you've not, we were fortunate because we had a docent that took us through the mansion. It's fascinating when you know what you're looking at.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see it and think, wonder what the heck that is. But you got an expert that takes you around. That is a neat experience. And I know, like Aaron just said, maybe you went there when you were in elementary school 30 years ago. Go back, because you might see things that, well, I forgot about that. Very, very interesting place to visit.
The Miami Trace local school teachers, Mrs. Joanna Stitt and Mrs. Emily Phelps, took on the Fayette County Adult Spelling Bee, and Emily Phelps spelled her way to victory with the word, and I'm going to try to pronounce this.
I salute you for trying.
Keratodermatitis. Keratodermatitis. There we go.
Okay.
That is definitively how do you pronounce that word.
Yeah. Now, Mrs. Phelps is the one on the left. That would be Emily. Joanna Stitt on the right. She was the runner. But both teachers there at Miami Trace. Congratulations. That snapped the 4-year win streak by one Sarah Smith. And I went to see her for the first time, and everybody said the same thing.
You're bad luck.
You jinxed her. But she was just glad to have Dad along. So thank you, honey, and job well done. A total of $106 million will be awarded to 383 transit projects throughout Ohio, including many in our locale. ODOT's Office of Transit is awarding the funds through 7 separate grant programs that focus on workforce mobility, senior citizen and special needs transportation, rural transit, and busing. A lot of people may not realize that, for example, the Chillicothe transit system for many years was a city transit only. But for a number of years, Chillicothe Transit has also run rural routes throughout Ross County. So that's just an example of how transit programs throughout Ohio have expanded.
The Lancaster Community Band will be featured in the Jubilee concert planned for 2 p.m. on March 10th at the Faith Memorial Church on West Fair Avenue in Lancaster, Ohio. And you can see all the information right there on that poster that we have.
You've probably
Real nice
been
poster.
fairly close to this church.
Have I?
If you visited the fairgrounds, you were on Fair Avenue.
Oh, then probably, yeah.
And you were just there last summer, right?
I was. The last and the
still
best
can't
is
get
what
over
they
the
say.
fact they made you pay to get in. You were there to cover. They made you pay to get in.
Yeah.
We got to talk to somebody.
I don't think I had my Litter Media shirt yet
There
at the
you
time
go.
because I had just been hired, so I didn't have
They
the
thought
uniform.
they're scamming them.
That's what they thought.
You don't look like Dan Ramey or Mike Smith. You can't be with. Well, he is, folks. He's legitimate now. He's legitimate now. Mark your calendars for March 14th. This is the date for the annual Ross County Farm Bureau Farmers Share Breakfast. It's held at the Ross County Education Service Center at 475 Western Avenue in Chillicothe. That runs from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. that day. I remember Dan and I went. I know we did it once, and maybe more than once, where we went to the breakfast and did our old radio show there live. Mm-hmm. I think we ate while we were there. I hope we did. But that's a fun event. And that the way they've always done that, they don't charge, but they always say, if you'd like to make a donation, here's the donation price. And that always represented the cost of the farmer, what they put on your table for breakfast.
Right.
And it was remarkable when you stop and think of what all you were eating and how little it was costing. Of course, we know with inflation, prices go up. But the point was, appreciate the American farmer for all they do, because we're eating better and we're eating cheaper than probably 3/4 of the world. So thanks to the American farmer.
Join local educator and researcher Gary Argabright at 6:30 p.m. on March 7th at Ohio University Chillicothe Bennett Hall as he discusses the features of the Liberty Earthworks complex and the insights it provides into the amazing landscape created by the ancient Hopewell peoples in the early centuries of the modern era. Leveled by nearly 200 years of agricultural activity and modern development, the Liberty Earthworks is no longer visible to the naked eye. However, the story of this grand earthen complex provides many useful insights for understanding the Ross County's newly inscribed World Heritage Hopewell Ceremonial Earthworks.
And I have to be totally honest, the Liberty Earthworks is something that I was not even familiar with.
I've never heard of that before.
Yeah. But let me tell you, folks, we've had Gary on special edition interviews in the past. Gary Argabright is an absolute whiz at this. He is an expert in this discussion. So if you venture out there to Bennett Hall on March the 7th, you're going to be hearing from an expert on the ancient peoples of our area. That is a look at our news topics for today. When we come back, a look at sports on Litter Media Live. This is your turn.
Yeah, first we'll tell you about Scioto Valley Dumpsters. If you're in need of a cleanup job and you need a big dumpster, give Scioto Valley Dumpsters a call, 740-253-8389. If you're watching on Facebook, you don't have to be in Ross County. You see that ghost map behind. And those are all the counties that they service. And if the job is right, they might even do some cleanup for you. Give them a call, 740-253-8389.
Our mobile banking app is changing the way we bank. Things are getting easier, transactions are getting safer, and you have access 24/7. All the functionality of banking you're used to, made easier to use, anywhere, anytime, and more secure than ever. Simple, seamless, safe. Download our Kingston National Bank mobility app today.
At Rathkamp Financial, we provide wealth management services that may ease clients' fears of financial loss and help them retire comfortably. Our greatest satisfaction comes from working with clients for many years and helping them realize their dreams.
Whenever I first applied for the Archways opportunity, oh, do I have to pay this back? Do I have to do that? Like, is it a loan? And it's not. It's a scholarship. A goal of mine is to graduate college debt-free. If you're a crew member, you get $2,500 a year, and if you're a manager, you get $3,000. And especially if you're going locally to college, like to the branch or something like that, it's really helpful.
McDonald's with locations in Chillicothe, Circleville, Waverly, and Greenfield. McDonald's.
I'm loving it. And it's Wednesday, so they're having their open interview days today. If you're in need of a job, go to McDonald's. Just ask to talk to a manager. They have open interviews every Wednesday.
From 2 to 5.
From 2 to 5. I wasn't sure of the time, so I didn't want to misinform anybody.
All right, taking a look at the sports. Oh, big night out at Zane Trace High School last night. It was Gary Kello Tribute Night. Gary Kello, who has coached for 52 years. Now, he's not been a varsity head coach that long. I think, Gary's first coaching varsity job might have been at Miami Trace. But the first year he coached a high school team was at Adena, and he had some great basketball player by the name of Mike Smith.
Oh, some great basketball player.
Last night on the post-game interview with Gary, when I told him we were wrapping up, I said, "Coach, I love you." And then I told everybody that he was my coach when I was in, I think, a junior in high school. And he told the story. Yeah, Mike wimped out. He had blood blisters. And I said, yeah, I only got blood poisoning in my leg twice that year. I probably should have kept going. But that's a true story. But, yeah, Gary was honored last night. And a lot of his former players from Zane Trace, some from Chillicothe, Humpty Hitchens on that state championship team was there. And they did a great job honoring him. Dan Ramey was the MC of that special event. And then the greatest award, according to Gary, was winning over Westfall last night, 50-40.
And if you go to our website, littermedia.com, you can listen to that Game of the Week replay on demand, and it's running on the radio today starting at 1 p.m., I believe.
Gotcha. And that post-game interview that we alluded to with Gary is also on there. Last night was championship night for several area high school boys basketball teams, putting the finishing touches on undisputed titles. Uniota took care of their business in the SVC, beating Paint Valley 68-41 behind a 19-point performance from guard Blake Fitch. Caden Cutright also shined with 13 points to lead the charge. The Shermans iced the SVC crown with a record of 12-1 and conclude the conference season Friday against Piketon. Miami Trace won the outright title for the FAC with a 64-53 win over Hillsboro, concluding their league season with a 9-1 record, a game ahead of arch rival Washington, who beat Jackson 56-50. The Taze Valley Vikings finally put a close to their title run with a convincing 63-21 victory over Amanda Clear Creek. The Vikings, who won a share last night, can clinch the title outright if they are a winner over Logan Elm in their season finale, or if Bloom Carroll loses. Now, Northwest High School down in Scioto County, they had a chance to clinch a share. No, I'm sorry. They have already clinched a share of the SOC. They had a chance to win it outright last night as they were going head-to-head with the Eastern Eagles. But Eastern rallied in that game to win 63-57. So, again, while Northwest has clinched a share, pardon me, they can still win it outright with a victory on Friday. Staying with the SOC, only in Division III, Wheelersburg has already sewn that up. Notre Dame did the same in SOC 1. Also, Vinton County claimed the outright TVC title last night with a 57-47 win over Meigs.
And in girls basketball, the Union sophomore Miley Smith leads the list of girls all-SVC basketball honors that was released this morning. Smith led the Lady Shermans to a gold ball perfect conference season with a 17.8 points per game scoring average. 6 Uniota players were all conference, with 3 on the first team. Adena's Andrew Day was named SVC Coach of the Year for leading the Lady Warriors to a 12-2 conference season, and their only 2 losses were, you guessed it, against Unyota.
Yeah. The Ohio State men continue to flounder. They just can't get over the hump, folks. They lost again last night to Wisconsin by a score of 62-54. I think the Buckeyes are now only 3 games over 500 for the season. So early on in the season, it looked like, hey, these guys are going to be in the NCAA. Unless they win the Big Ten tournament, that's not going to happen this year because they might not even get a 20-win season.
And to no one's surprise, the Blue Jackets lost to the Ottawa Senators.
Yeah, the Jackets are now 16, 26, and 10.
It's not very good.
Not going to get it done. Yeah.
And that's sports.
That is sports for today. We're not going to do any more regular season games on Litter Media Radio this week. Of course, the girls have already wrapped up, for the most part, their regular season. They're in tournament play now. The boys wrap up this weekend. We'll jump into the tournament fray for our next broadcast sometime next week. We 3 old men, I was going to not say 3 wise men, the 3 old men, we need to recharge our batteries here the rest of this week so we can get on the tournament trail, because that's where it really ratchets up. And that'll be sometime next week. Just keep checking our Litter Media X or Twitter and the Facebook site for information as to when and where we will be sometime probably mid to late next week.
And we'll tell you on the Daily Show.
This date in history coming up next. We're going back to 1886, and we're taking Horace Greeley's advice. We're going west. All that's coming up.
For transportation options in Ross County, call Ross County Health District's Mobility Management Team, 740-779-9652.
Now that's one fast mower. Take command of your lawn with Dixie Chopper, the world's fastest lawnmower.
You haven't had vodka soda like this. No one has. Made with the world's smoothest vodka plus real juice. New White Claw Vodka Soda.
As we do each day on the daily program, we wrap up with this date in history, and we take you back to 1886. Destined to become one of the state's major exports, the first trainload of oranges grown by Southern California farmers leaves Los Angeles via the Transcontinental Railroad. Taking advantage of the rapid transportation capabilities of the transcontinental lines, Los Angeles area orchard growers began shipping their oranges to the east in 1886. Do we have that picture?
Oh, yeah. I was entranced by your storytelling.
Engrossed. Now, I've not been to California, but you have. Have you ever seen orange groves in California?
I did not see any orange groves, actually.
But you drove.
I did drive.
So you'd think you would have passed through some of this stuff.
The way I came into California, it was weird. There was, we had our vehicles checked when we crossed the state line. Mm-hmm. It kind of seemed like we were going into some dystopian society, but then it was all desert until we got to L.A.
Huh. Well, as the city grew back in 1886, it subdivided many nearby orchards and pushed the orange growers into regions like Orange County.
Oh.
But isn't that pretty?
It is.
And again, I've never seen it in person, but they tell me that it's even prettier than you see it in the picture, especially when everything is all green like that. But because of the arid climate in many of those groves, I think they have extensive irrigation systems and things like that. So, that's what the orange grove looks like. And it took its first train trip The orange. That's how we get California oranges in Ohio. I don't think they ride the train anymore. They're probably on a truck or something like that. But that was back in 1886. Any tidbits of wisdom or knowledge to share from your generation?
That's a crazy question to ask.
Didn't The Who have a song about something about my generation? Was that the name of the song?
I was never a The Who fan.
It's something about my generation or something like that. Or this is when Aaron and I are talking, and I was telling somebody I've probably talked to you more since you came to work here than I ever did, because we're related.
Yeah.
But if you stop and think about it, when we were at family gatherings, you weren't at the adult table.
No, I never was.
You were in the basement with the kids, the other kids playing games or whatever you did down there. So when we're talking, sometimes it's like Venus and Mars. What are you talking about? And it's me more than you probably trying to figure out, what are you talking about? So share with us from, I'm trying to learn. I sat at your feet learning from your generation.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know.
There you go.
I got nothing for you.
That's how far we've slipped. I don't have anything for you. If you don't know by now, I can't help you.
Are you doing anything for Valentine's Day today?
I think we're going to come back into town and work out at the gym.
That's so romantic.
Now, we always, stop and grab, something to eat on the way home. We might end up at the grocery store getting some milk and bread. I'm not kidding you. The older you get, it's like the grocery store is date night. And I can't tell you how many other couples of our age group are there doing the same thing. And we just laugh and say, yeah, this is date night.
I like going to the grocery store with my girlfriend.
You bring that up. I think I saw I don't know if this was a news story or what, but this was like 8 or 9 years ago. And they said that this is where a lot of young women meet their husbands or future husbands
at the grocery store.
That's
not where we met.
Okay. But this is where you're taking your date, maybe.
Sure.
To the grocery store, yeah. Did you ever see the Everybody Loves Raymond episode where Deborah she thinks that Raymond, it doesn't notice her anymore, so she goes to the grocery store seeing if any young men will hit on her. Well, Raymond is there spying on her because he's finally figuring out, hey, I got to start paying attention.
Right.
It's hilarious. She's basically hitting on one of the grocer guys that's putting up oranges or something, and he finally says, lady, will you leave me alone?
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so, yeah, it happens. Well, if Aaron doesn't have any words of wisdom to share with us, I guess that's going to wrap it up for today. Tomorrow, and if you didn't get a chance, by the way, to see our special edition.
It's on YouTube.
With Jane Osborne early this morning. You can find it. We'll have maybe a quote from Jane on tomorrow's Daily Topic show. But like Aaron said, it's already up on Litter Media YouTube talking about they can't call it March Madness.
Right.
Because there's a copyright like the Super Bowl has, but they've got Basketball Madness where their MRDD students team up with some of the basketball players from all of the 4 Pickaway County schools, and that event's coming up March 13th, and Jane can tell you more about that on the interview. Don't forget, we also have our noon pregame show, which is not really a pregame show. It might be a review show. We're going to go back at noon tomorrow and look at all of the different conference champions, what has happened already in girls tournament action this week, and what is coming ahead for the boys tournament. Some of those boys tournament games actually start this Saturday, but most of them will get underway Monday of next week. So until that time for tomorrow on our daily show at 11 and the noon preview or review show, as we might call it tomorrow, where we'll also have our athlete of the week. For Dan Ramey and Aaron Glandon, this is Mike Smith saying so long from all of us at Litter Media Live. And for you on Litter Media Radio, we return you to your regularly scheduled programming.